Hello, and welcome back. I have a question for you. Have you ever watched a movie in English without subtitles and felt completely lost? You know the vocabulary. You know the grammar. You studied English for years in school. But when a native speaker opens their mouth, it just sounds like one long, fast noise. Do not worry. You are not alone. And more importantly, it is not your fault. The problem is that traditional schools teach you what I call robot English. In school, you learn to pronounce every word clearly and separately, like this: what, do, you, want, to, do. But in the real world, native speakers do not talk like robots. We are efficient. We are lazy with our mouths. We smash words together. We change sounds. We even delete sounds completely. This is called connected speech. And today, I am going to teach you the secret rules of how we actually speak. Once you understand these rules, you will suddenly be able to hear individual words in fast conversations. It will feel like magic. We have a lot to cover today, including linking, weak forms, disappearing sounds, and the famous British glottal stop. By the end of this video, your listening skills will be on a completely different level. Let's begin with secret number 1, consonant to vowel linking. Imagine a chain. Each word is a link in the chain. In robot English, the links are separate. In real English, the links are connected. When a word ends with a consonant sound and the next word starts with a vowel sound, we join them together. They become one long word. Let's look at some common examples. Robot English: turn, it, on. Real English: Turnitin. Can you hear that? The N in turn moves to the I in it, and the T in it moves to the O in on. Turnitin. Could you turnitin, please? Another example. Robot English: work, out. Real English: work out. I need to work out. This is why simple questions sound so fast. Robot English: can, I, come, in. Real English: can I come in? It sounds like one new word. Can I come in? Here is one more. Robot English: read, it. Real English: read it. I haven't read it yet. Secret number 2. The schwa, or weak forms. This is the most important sound in the English language. It is a very lazy, short sound. It sounds like In English, we have important words like nouns, verbs, and adjectives. We stress these words. They are loud and long. But we also have small grammar words like to, for, at, and, are, was, can. We do not stress these words. We crush them. We make them weak. For example, the word to. You learn to pronounce it to. But in a sentence, we usually say to. Robot English: I want to go to work. Real English: I want to go to work. The word for. You learn for, but we say fa. Robot English: this is for you. Real English: this is for you. The word and. You learn and, but we say or just n. Robot English: fish and chips. Real English: fish and chips. Black and white. Rock and roll. The word can. You learn can, but in a positive sentence, we say nyen. Robot English. I can do it. Real English. I can do it. I na swim. I na go. If you try to pronounce can or and clearly every time, you will sound unnatural. Native speakers skip these sounds to move faster to the important information. Secret number 3. Elision. Elision means disappearing. Sometimes we just delete sounds completely because they are too difficult to say quickly. The most common disappearing sounds are T and D, especially when they are sandwiched between two other consonant sounds. Look at the phrase, next week. We have a T sound at the end of next and a W sound at the start of week. It is difficult to stop the air for the T and then start it again for the W, next week, so we simply delete the T. It becomes next week. See you next week. Another example. The word sandwich. We almost never pronounce the D in the middle. We say sandwich. Example 3. Robot English. I kept talking. Real English. I kept talking. The T at the end of kept disappears. Example 4. Robot English. Best friend. Real English. Best friend. You are my best friend. This is why you might think a native speaker is speaking too fast. You are waiting to hear the T in next or best, but it never comes. Secret number 4. Assimilation. This is where sounds change to become more like the sounds next to them. This happens a lot with the letter T and the letter D when they meet the letter Y. When a word ends in T and the next word starts with Y, they mix together to make a ch sound. Look at the phrase, don't you? T plus Y becomes che. Real English, don't you? Don't you like it? Don't you want to go? Look at the phrase, meet you. Real English, meet you. Nice to meet you. The same happens with D and Y. They mix to become a J sound. Look at the phrase, did you, D plus Y becomes J. Real English, did you? Did you see that? Did you have fun? Look at the phrase, would you? Real English, would you? Would you like some tea? If you are listening for did you will miss it. You need to train your ears to hear did you. Secret number 5. Intrusion. This is very common in British English. Sometimes we add a sound that isn't written there. We do this to make two vowel sounds flow together smoothly. The most famous one is the intrusive R. If a word ends in a vowel sound like or, and the next word starts with a vowel, British speakers add a small R sound in the middle. Example, law and order. We say law, R, and order. I saw it. We say I saw it. The idea of it. We say the idea, of it. We also have the intrusive W. If a word ends in an oo or o sound, and the next word starts with a vowel, we add a small W. Example, do it. We say do it, go away. We say go W away. This connects the words, so we don't have to stop our voice. Secret number 6. H-dropping. In casual British English, especially in rapid speech, we often drop the H sound at the beginning of small grammar words like he, him, her, his, and have. Example, tell him. Robot English. Tell him. Real English. Tell I am. I will tell I am later. Example, ask her. Robot English. ask, her. Real English, asker. Did you ask her? Example. Should have, robot English. Should have, real English. Should have. This makes the speech flow much faster. I think he is nice becomes I think he's nice. Secret number 7. The glottal stop. This is a classic feature of British English. We often replace the T sound with a stop in the back of the throat. It sounds like a sudden silence. We do this often when T is in the middle of a word or at the end. Example: butter. American English, butter. British English, buer. Example: water. American English, water. British English, wa. Example: network. Real English, network. Example: football. Real English, football. You don't have to speak like this, but you must understand it, because millions of British people speak this way. Part 2. The listening quiz. Now, let's test your ears. I am going to say 5 sentences using connected speech. I will say them fast, like a native speaker. I want you to try and write down or think about what the original words are. Sentence number 1. What do you wanna do? Listen again. What do you wanna do? The answer is, what do you want to do? What do you became what do you? Want to became wanna. Sentence number 2. I don't know where is. Listen again. I don't know where is. The answer is, I don't know where he is. Don't know became dunno. Where he is became where is. H dropping. Sentence number 3. She go to work at 8. Listen again. She go to work at 8. The answer is, she goes to work at 8. Goes to became go to. Work at became work at. Sentence number 4. Pick it up off the floor. Listen again. Pick it up off the floor. The answer is, pick it up off the floor. Linking. Pick it up. Sentence number 5. Could you lend me a tenner? Listen again. Could you lend me a tenner? The answer is, could you lend me a tenner? Could you became could you. Lend me became lend me. Elision of D. Tenner is slang for £10. Part 3. Story analysis. Now, let's put it all together. I am going to read a short story. First, I will read it in robot English. Then, I will read it in real connected English. Robot English version. I woke up at 8 o'clock. I wanted a cup of coffee, but I did not have any milk. So, I walked to the shop. I saw an old friend. I said, "Nice to meet you," he said. "Do you want to get lunch?" I said, "I cannot. I have to go to work." That sounds very unnatural and choppy. Now, let's apply the rules. Real connected English version. I woke up at 8 o'clock. I wanted a cup of coffee. Buddy didn't have any milk. So I walked to the shop. I saw an old friend. I said, "Nice to meet you." He said, "Do you want to get lunch?" I said, "I can't. I have to go to work." Let's break that down. Woke up at. Link together. Cup of became cuppa, but I linked to bud I. Walked to became walked. Saw an had an intrusive R. Saw an. Old friend. Lost the D. Old friend. Meet you became meet you. Do you want to became do you wanna. Have to became have to. So, How can you improve your listening skills now that you know these secrets? First, stop trying to hear every single word. Focus on the stressed words, the big words, the nouns and verbs, the little grammar words like to, for, and, have will fly by quickly, and that is okay. You don't need to hear them clearly to understand the meaning. Second, practice shadowing. When you listen to my videos or watch a British movie, turn on the subtitles. Listen to a short phrase, pause, and then try to say it exactly how they said it. Don't read the words like a robot. Copy the music. Copy the connections. If they say gonna, you say gonna. If they say meet you, you say meet you. If you practice this for just 5 minutes a day, your ears will open up. You will stop translating in your head, and you will start understanding the flow of real English. I hope this lesson helps you understand me and other native speakers a little better. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on fluency and pronunciation. See you in the next video. It is wonderful to have you with me today. My name is your English coach, and we are going to tackle the monster, the beast, the part of the English language that gives every student nightmares. We are going to talk about phrasal verbs. Now, before you run away, or before you switch off this video, I want you to listen to a short story. Imagine you are in London. You are sitting in a cafe, drinking a lovely cup of tea, and you hear two native speakers talking. One of them says, "I woke up late because my alarm didn't go off, so I had to skip breakfast and run for the bus. But it was full, so I couldn't get on. I finally turned up at work an hour late, and my boss told me off. I feel like giving up." Now, imagine that same person speaking like a textbook. Imagine if they said, "I arose from my bed late because my alarm did not activate, so I had to omit breakfast and run for the bus, but it was full so I could not board. I finally arrived at work an hour late, and my boss reprimanded me. I feel like quitting." Do you hear the difference? The second version is grammatically correct. It is perfect English, but it sounds robotic. It sounds stiff. It sounds like a lawyer from the 19th century. If you speak like that in a pub, people will look at you strangely. The first version, the one full of woke up, go off, get on, turn up, tell off, give up, that is how we actually speak. Native speakers love phrasal verbs. We are addicted to them. We use them constantly, in business, in romance, in anger, and in joy. If you avoid them because you are afraid of them, you will always sound a little bit distant. You will always sound a little bit too formal. But if you can master just 20 or 30 of the most common ones, your English will suddenly sound colourful, natural, and fluent. So, take a deep breath. We are going to demystify this. We are going to stop speaking like a textbook. First, let us understand the concept. What is a phrasal verb? It is actually very simple. It is a little mathematical equation. You take a normal verb, like look, or get, or put, and then you add a small preposition, or particle, like up, down, in, out, or off. When you put them together, they create a brand new meaning that often has nothing to do with the original words. This is where the frustration comes from. Look means to use your eyes. After means later in time. But look after means to care for a baby or a dog. It is magic. It is weird. But it is English. We are going to break this down into 4 categories to make it easy for your brain to digest. We will start with the beginning of the day. Category 1 is morning and daily routine. Think about your morning. What is the very first thing you do? In a textbook, you might say, I awaken. But no one says that. We say, I wake up. To wake up is to stop sleeping. Your eyes open, but you are still in bed. You might lie there for 5 minutes looking at your phone. Then, you have to physically leave the bed. You put your feet on the floor and stand. We call this get up. So, first you wake up, then you get up. If you are lazy on a Sunday, you might wake up at 9, but not get up until 10. Now you are out of bed. You are cold. You need clothes. The textbook verb is to dress or to don. I donned my shirt. Please, never say that. We say, put on. I put on my shirt. I put on my trousers. I put on my shoes. It is the action of dressing. You go to the kitchen. It is dark. You need light. Do you illuminate the room? Do you activate the light? No. You turn on. You turn on the light. You turn on the coffee machine. You turn on the radio. And when you leave, you turn off. Now, imagine you want to make cereal, but the milk carton is empty. There is no milk left. A formal speaker would say, we have exhausted our supply of milk. That is very dramatic. A native speaker says, we have run out of milk. To run out of, it means there is none left. We have run out of time. I have run out of patience. So, your morning routine is already full of these verbs. I wake up, I get up, I turn on the light, I put on my clothes, and I realize I have run out of coffee. Disaster. Let us move to category 2, movement and travel. This is essential if you are visiting the UK or any English-speaking country. We have very specific rules about how we enter and exit vehicles, and it depends on the size of the vehicle. Let's talk about cars and taxis. To enter a car, we do not say embark. We say get in. You open the door and you get in. To leave the car, you get out. Simple. Get in, get out. But what about a bus, or a train, or a plane? You cannot say get in the bus. It sounds wrong. Why? Because on a bus, you can stand up and walk. There is a platform. So, for large vehicles where you can walk, we use get on and get off. So, you get in a taxi, but you get on a bus. You get out of a taxi, but you get off a train. If you mix these up, we will understand you, but it will sound strange. Now, imagine you are starting a long journey. You are driving from London to Scotland. You leave your house. The formal verb is to depart or to commence the journey. We commenced our journey at 6 a.m. That sounds like a military report. We say set off, S-E-T, set off. We set off at 6 a.m. It implies the beginning of an adventure. What time do we need to set off to avoid the traffic? When you arrive at your hotel, you need to go to the reception desk and get your key. We all know this one. You check in. And when you leave, you check out. But did you know we also use check out to mean look at something interesting? If I see a cool car, I might say to my friend, "Hey, check out that car." One more for travel. Imagine your friend is arriving at the airport. You drive your car to the airport to collect him. You do not collect him. That sounds like you are collecting a parcel or a stamp. You pick him up. To pick up. I will pick you up at the terminal. And when you take him home and he leaves your car, you drop him off. Can you drop me off at the station? So, travel is set off, pick up, get on, get off, check in, drop off. Let us move to the heart of the matter. Category 3. Social and feelings. This is where English gets emotional. This is where we express our relationships. Do you have a good relationship with your boss? Do you like your mother-in-law? If the answer is yes, you can say, I get along with them. To get along with someone. It means to have a smooth, friendly relationship. I don't get along with my brother. We fight all the time. What happens if you don't get along? You argue. You stop speaking. We call this falling out. To fall out with someone. I fell out with Sarah last week, and we haven't spoken since. It is a sad phrasal verb. Now, let's talk about excitement. Imagine you have a holiday coming up next week. You are thinking about it with happiness. The formal verb is anticipate. I anticipate the holiday. No, we say look forward to. I am looking forward to my holiday. Note the grammar here. It is usually followed by the ing form if you use a verb. I am looking forward to seeing you. Not to see you. I am looking forward to seeing you. What about when you are sad? Your friend is crying. You want to make them happy. You want to improve their mood. You say, cheer up. To cheer up. Come on, cheer up. It's not that bad. You can also do it to someone else. I bought her flowers to cheer her up. On the other hand, if someone is angry, shouting, red in the face, you want them to reduce their anger. You tell them to calm down. Please, calm down and tell me what happened. And finally, a very useful one for disappointments. If you promise to help someone, but you don't do it, you disappoint them. You let them down. I promised I would be there, and I didn't go. I let him down. It means you lowered their spirit. So, social life is get along with, fall out, look forward to, cheer up, calm down, let down. Now, Category 4. Work and action. This is for the office, for solving problems, and for resilience. Imagine you are working on a difficult project. You are tired. You want to stop, but you must continue. The formal verb is continue or proceed. Please proceed with your work. It is a bit stiff. We say, carry on. Sorry for interrupting. Please carry on. Keep on is very similar. He kept on talking, but what if the project is too hard? It is impossible. You stop trying. You surrender. You give up. I can't do this math problem. I give up. She gave up smoking last year. Sometimes you have a problem and you need to find the solution. You need to use your brain to calculate the answer. We say, figure out. I need to figure out how to use this new software. We need to figure out a way to save money. It implies a mental puzzle that you are solving. A very British phrasal verb that is similar to this is sort out. To sort out means to organize or fix a mess. My desk is a mess. I need to sort it out. There was a problem with the tickets, but we sorted it out. Now, imagine you have a meeting scheduled for today, but you are sick. You need to move the meeting to next week. The formal word is postpone. I need to postpone the meeting. That is okay, but put off is more common. Can we put off the meeting until Friday? To put off means to delay. However, if you cancel the meeting completely, it will never happen. We say, call off. The boss called off the meeting because of the snow. So, at work, carry on, give up, figure out, sort out, put off, call off. Now, I know what you are thinking. This is too many words. How will I remember them? The answer is context. You cannot learn these from a list. You have to see them in a story. So, I am going to tell you a story. It is a story about a very bad day. I want you to listen and count how many phrasal verbs you hear. I will try to use as many as possible from our lesson today. Are you ready? Here is the story of John's bad Monday. John's alarm didn't go off. He woke up at 8:30, which was very late. He jumped out of bed and got up immediately. He tried to turn on the light, but the bulb was broken. Oh no, he thought. He put on his clothes in the dark, a blue sock and a red sock. He went to the kitchen and realized he had run out of coffee. He was already stressed, but he told himself to calm down. He set off for work without breakfast. He tried to start his car, but it had broken down. I give up, he shouted, but he knew he couldn't give up. He had to figure out a solution. So, he decided to take the bus. He ran to the bus stop and got on the number 10 bus. It was crowded. He finally turned up at the office an hour late. His boss was waiting. His boss is a difficult man, and John doesn't really get along with him, the boss said. John, you have let me down. We had a meeting, but I had to call it off because you weren't here. John felt terrible. He needed to sort this out. He apologized and promised to stay late to catch up on work. He carried on working until 8 p.m. When he finally finished, he was exhausted. He was looking forward to his bed. He got home, took off his shoes, turned off the phone, and went to sleep. Did you catch them all? Let's quickly review the narrative flow. The alarm didn't go off. It didn't ring. He woke up, stopped sleeping. He got up, left bed. He turned on the light, activated. He put on clothes, dressed. He ran out of coffee, empty supply. He set off, started, journey. The car broke down, stopped working. He couldn't give up, stop trying. He figured out a solution, found an answer. He got on the bus, entered. He turned up, arrived. He doesn't get along with his boss. Friendly relationship. He let him down. Disappointed. The boss called off the meeting. Cancelled. He sorted it out. Fixed the problem. He carried on working. Continued. He was looking forward to bed. Excited for. He turned off the phone. Deactivated. This is how native speakers talk. We weave these words together constantly. If John had said, "My alarm failed to activate. I arose. I donned my clothes. I departed. I boarded the bus. I arrived. I have a poor relationship with my boss. He would sound like a robot. By using phrasal verbs, the story feels alive. It feels real. So, how do you practice this? Here is my advice. Do not try to memorize a dictionary of phrasal verbs. There are thousands of them. It is impossible and it is boring. Focus on the verbs we used today. These are the top 25. These are the ones that cover 80% of daily conversation. Take one category a day. Tomorrow morning narrates your life. Say to yourself, I am waking up. I am getting up. I am putting on my socks. I am turning on the kettle. Say it out loud. When you are on the bus or in the car, say, I am getting on. I am getting off. I am setting off. Also, when you watch English movies or TV shows, listen for them. You will hear them everywhere. When a character enters a house, do they say enter? No. They say, come in. When they leave, they go out. When they investigate a crime, they look into it. Language is a habit. It is a muscle. You have to train it. I want to leave you with one final thought. Do not be afraid of making mistakes. If you say, get in the bus, instead of get on the bus, everyone will still understand you. Communication is the goal, not perfection. But the more you try to use these little magic words, these phrasal verbs, the more you will connect with native speakers. You will sound friendlier. You will sound more relaxed. And you will stop sounding like a textbook. Thank you so much for listening today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Keep carrying on, don't give up, and I am sure you will figure it out. Goodbye. Do you say water or do you say water? If you want a British accent, you must stop turning your T's into D's. It is one of the most common habits I hear in students who have learned English through American movies or television series. You believe you are speaking clearly, but to a British ear, you sound like you have a lazy tongue. Today, we are going to fix that. We are going to perform surgery on your pronunciation. We are going to remove that American slur and replace it with a crisp, articulate, and elegant British T. Welcome to this intensive pronunciation training. I am going to be very strict with you today because pronunciation requires discipline. It requires you to move your mouth in ways that feel unnatural at first. You must retrain your muscles. The letter T is perhaps the most important consonant in the British English repertoire. It is the anchor of our accent. It provides the rhythm, the percussion, and the clarity that defines the received pronunciation, or the Queen's English. If you master the T, you are halfway to sounding like a native of the United Kingdom. If you ignore the T, you will always sound American. Let us begin by identifying the problem. The enemy of the British accent is what linguists call the alveolar tap, or the flap T. This is the American way. In American English, when a T appears between two vowels, such as in the word water, or better, or city, the speaker does not pronounce a T at all. They tap the tongue very quickly against the roof of the mouth. It sounds almost exactly like a D. Listen closely to the American pronunciation. Water, bedder, city. I am going to the city to buy a better bottle of water. Do you hear how soft that is? Do you hear how the words slide into one another? It lacks definition. It lacks punctuation. In British English, We do not slide. We articulate. We do not tap. We stop. And we release. The British T is known as the true T. It is crisp. It is sharp. It involves a small explosion of air. I want you to put your hand in front of your mouth right now. Do it. Put your palm 2 inches from your lips. Now say the word top. Top. Did you feel a puff of air hit your skin? You should have. If you did not feel a distinct burst of air, you are not pronouncing the T correctly. This is called aspiration. To make the true T, the tip of your tongue must rise up and touch the alveolar ridge. That is the bumpy ridge of gum just behind your top front teeth. Place your tongue there now. Press it firmly against that ridge. You are blocking the air coming from your throat. You build up the pressure for a split second, and then you release it. T, T. It is percussive. It is a drumbeat. Let us look at the word water. This is the ultimate test. The American says water. The tongue barely touches the roof. The British speaker says water. Listen to the middle of that word. Water. My tongue goes up. It stops the air, and it releases with a sharp hiss. Water. It is not aggressive, but it is precise. Let us try the word better. In American, it is better. It sounds like the thing you sleep on a bed. But in British English, it is better, better. You must pronounce the double T. Try it now. Better. Do not be afraid to sound posh. Do not be afraid to sound formal. When you are learning, you must exaggerate the sounds. You can relax later, but for now, I want you to overemphasize that explosion of air. Better. Let us look at a list of words that end in ter or tter. These are the words that usually expose a non-native speaker. Repeat after me and focus entirely on the explosion of air against the back of your teeth. Letter. I am writing a letter. Butter. Pass the butter, please. Matter. It does not matter. Computer. Turn on the computer. Bitter. This coffee is bitter. Did you feel the difference? Did you feel the work your tongue had to do? In the American accent, the tongue is lazy. It stays low and just taps the roof. In the British accent, the tongue is athletic. It works hard. It goes all the way up and snaps back down. Now, we must discuss the placement of the T. The true T is mandatory at the start of words. This is true for Americans as well, but the British T is often sharper. Time, table, Tuesday, tea. Notice the H sound that follows the T. It is almost like saying th time. There is breath behind it. If you say these words without the breath, they will sound flat. They will sound like a D. Dime, dable, Tuesday. We do not want that. We want time, table, Tuesday. However, the real challenge, and the secret to sounding British, is keeping that true T in the middle of the sentence. Listen to this sentence. Put it on the table. An American might say, pudded on the table. They turn the T in put and the T in it into Ds. Pudded on. It connects together. A British speaker, specifically one using received pronunciation, will separate these sounds. Put it on the table. Put it on the table. The T's are clear. They act as boundaries between the words. We do not run our words together as much as Americans do. We value the separation. Now, I know some of you who are advanced students are thinking, but wait, I have heard British people swallow their T's. I have heard British people say wa-er instead of wa-ter. You are correct. This brings us to the glottal T. The glottal T, or the glottal stop, is a very common feature of British English. It is not American. It is distinctly British. However, you must use it carefully. If you use it too much, or in the wrong places, you will sound like you are trying to speak Cockney or estuary English, which may not be your goal if you want a neutral, professional accent. A glottal stop happens when we close the vocal cords in the throat to stop the air, instead of using the tongue. We cut the sound off. It sounds like a catch in the throat. Uh-oh, that sound in the middle of uh-oh is a glottal stop. In modern British English, even in standard accents, we often use a glottal stop when a T comes before a consonant. This is acceptable. It is not lazy. It is efficient. Take the word football. If I pronounce the true T, it is football. That is very formal. Most British people will say fooball. Notice the T is gone. I cut the sound in my throat. Fooball. Take the word network. Formal. Network. Standard casual. Naywork. Take the word Batman. Formal. Batman. Standard casual. Barman. This is the glottal T. It gives the British accent its punchy staccato rhythm. But, and this is a very big but, you should be very careful using the glottal stop in the middle of words like water or better. If you say wa or be, dropping the T completely between vowels, you sound much more casual. It sounds very London, very street level. There is nothing wrong with that. But if you are in a job interview, or a business meeting, or an academic setting, I strongly advise you to stick to the true T. Say water, not wa-er. Say computer, not compuer. Say bottle, not boel. However, do use the glottal stop for words like button, cotton, and kitten. Listen to the difference. American, budden, codden, kidden. They use the D sound. British formal, butt-ton, cotangent-ton, kitten. We release the T. British natural, buon, koon, kien. We use the glottal stop. In words ending in ton or ten, the glottal stop is very common and sounds perfectly natural. Try it. Button, buon, cotton, koon, Britain, Brian. So, to summarize so far, the American T is a soft D. The British T is either a sharp explosion of air, the true T, or a complete stop in the throat, the glottal T. It is never, ever a soft D. Let us move on to a rigorous practice session. I want to drill these sounds into your muscle memory. I am going to say a phrase using the American style first, so you hear what we are avoiding, and then the British style, which I want you to repeat. The word is city, American, city, British, city, city. Feel the tongue hit the ridge. City. The word is 40. American, 40. British, 40. 40. The word is little. American, little. British, little, little. This is a tricky one. The T is followed by an L. In British English, we explode the T into the L. Little. Little. Do not make it a D. The phrase is a lot of. American, a lot of. British, a lot of. A lot of. Keep the T on lot crisp. A lot of people. The phrase is get out. American, get out. British, get out. Get out. Do not link them with a D. Link them with a T. Get out. The phrase is waiting for. American, waiting for. British, waiting for. Waiting. Make that T sing. Waiting. Now, let us try some full sentences. I want you to shadow me. I will leave a space for you to speak. Do not whisper. Speak properly. It is better to be late than never. Can I have a bottle of water, please? The computer is sitting on the bottom shelf. I wrote a letter to my daughter. It is a pity about the weather. Put the kettle on for tea. Excellent. Now, there is one more secret component to the British tea that you might not have realized. It is not just about the tea itself. It is about what comes after it. If you pronounce the T perfectly, but you pronounce the rest of the word like an American, you will sound very strange. You will sound like a hybrid. We need to talk about the bonus tip, the silent R. In the words we have been practicing, water, better, letter, computer, the T is in the middle. But look at the end of the word. In American English, the R is strong. Water, r. Better. Letter. This is called a rhotic accent. The tongue curls back to make the R sound. In standard British English, we are non-rhotic. This means we do not pronounce the R at the end of words. Instead, we use a sound called the schwa. It is a soft sound. So, when you are practicing your true T, you must also practice your silent R. It is not water, it is water. The T explodes, and then the mouth relaxes completely. Water, better, letter, computer. If you say wa-too with a sharp T and a soft ending, you sound British. If you say water with a sharp T and a hard R, you sound like an American trying very hard to be British. The combination is the key. The sharp, aggressive consonant in the middle, followed by the soft, open vowel at the end. Let's try combining the true T and the silent R. Repeat after me. Butter, butter, matter, matter, later, later, winter, winter, daughter, doubter. This applies even when the word doesn't end in ER. Think of the word party. American, party. Soft D, hard R. British, party. Notice two things here. The T is a true T, party, and the R in the middle is silent. We do not say party. We say party. Long vowel, sharp T. Try it. Party. 40, 30, 2. You see, pronunciation is like music. You have the rhythm, and you have the melody. The T provides the rhythm. It is the beat. It stops and starts the flow of air. If you get the rhythm wrong, the song sounds wrong. The American rhythm is smooth and rolling. The British rhythm is jagged and bouncy. We go up and down. We stop and start. Let's do a final challenge. I am going to give you a tongue twister. This tongue twister is famous for practicing the letter T. It is called Betty Botter. I will read it line by line. I want you to focus on every single T. Make them explode. Do not tap them. Do not swallow them. Betty Botter bought some butter. But she said, the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my bitter batter better. How did that feel? Did your jaw get tired? Did your tongue feel like it was doing a workout? Good. That means you are doing it right. If it felt easy, you were probably slipping back into the American D. Betty Botter bought some butter. That is easy. It requires no effort. Betty Botter bought some butter. That requires muscular tension and release. One final note on the word British itself. How do you pronounce the name of the accent you are learning? American, British. I love the British accent. No, you do not. You love the British accent. British. There is a T in the middle. Pronounce it. There is a tiny pause between the I and the T. British. It is elegant. It is refined. I want you to listen to native speakers on the news or in period dramas. Listen specifically for the letter T. Once you start hearing the difference between the flap T and the true T, you will never unhear it. You will realize that the T is the skeleton of the sentence. It holds everything up. Do not be discouraged if you slip back into the D sound. Old habits are very hard to break. It takes conscious effort. Every time you see a T, imagine a stop sign. Stop the air. Build the pressure. Release the air. Water. Not water. Little. Not liddle. Beautiful. Not beautiful. You are capable of changing your voice. It is simply a matter of mechanics and practice. You now have the tools. You know where to put your tongue. You know how to release the air. You know how to drop the R at the end. The rest is up to you. Go out there and speak with precision. Speak with clarity. And please, for the love of the language, pronounce your T's. Class dismissed. Hello and welcome to our lesson today. I am so pleased you could join me. Make yourself comfortable, perhaps with a nice cup of tea, because today we are going to talk about a word that is very close to the British heart. In fact, it might be the most commonly used word in the entire British Isles. That word is sorry. Did you know that studies suggest the average British person says sorry about 8 times a day? We say it when we make a mistake. We say it when we are confused. We say it when we hear bad news. We even say it when someone else bumps into us. It is a reflex. It is our way of keeping the world polite and harmonious. However, as an English learner, and particularly if you are at an intermediate level, you might be falling into a trap. You might be using sorry for absolutely everything. You are late? Sorry. You dropped a pen? Sorry. You didn't hear the question? Sorry. You disagree with someone? Sorry. While this is polite, it is also repetitive. It shows a lack of vocabulary range. If you use the same word for a small accident and a huge mistake, the word loses its power. If you say sorry for everything, it starts to mean nothing. Today, I want to help you expand your emotional toolkit. I want to teach you the specific phrases we use for different levels of mistakes. We will look at casual mishaps, professional errors, and the very British art of the non-apology. By the end of this session, you will know exactly how to express regret with precision and elegance. Let us start with the small things. The casual accidents. Imagine you are in a coffee shop. You are turning around to leave, and you accidentally bump into someone's shoulder. Or perhaps you are sitting at a table and you accidentally knock a spoon onto the floor. These are not crimes. You haven't hurt anyone. You don't need to beg for forgiveness. In these situations, a full "I am so sorry" can actually sound too dramatic. It is too heavy. Instead, we have some lovely, light phrases. The first one is very common among younger people and in casual settings. My bad, my bad. It is grammatically strange, isn't it? But it is very useful. It means, I accept that was my fault, but it is a small thing. Let's move on. You pass someone the wrong book. Oh, my bad. You forget to put sugar in your friend's tea. My bad. It is short, snappy, and friendly. However, please remember, never use this with your boss, and never use it for a serious mistake. If you crash your car into someone else's car, do not say, my bad. That would be very rude. Another phrase for these small moments is my mistake. This is slightly more formal than my bad, but still casual. It is perfect for correcting information. For example, imagine you are telling a story. The meeting is on Tuesday. Oh, no, my mistake. It is on Wednesday. It shows you are correcting yourself immediately. If you are physically clumsy, perhaps you trip over a step, or you drop your keys, you can use the word whoops or oops, followed by a quick, sorry, whoops, I dropped my pen. It shows you are not taking the situation too seriously. And if you want to be a little bit charming and self-deprecating, you can say, silly me, I forgot my keys again. Silly me. This suggests that you are annoyed with yourself, but in a gentle way. Now, let us move from the coffee shop to the office, the professional environment. In business, sorry can sometimes sound weak. If you say sorry too much in a meeting, you might sound like you lack confidence. You want to sound professional, competent, and accountable. If you have made a genuine error, perhaps you missed a deadline, or you sent the wrong file to a client, you need to use the verb apologize. Sorry is an adjective. I am sorry. Apologize is a verb. I apologize. Using the verb sounds much more active and formal. I apologize for the delay. I apologize for the confusion. Notice the preposition for. I apologize for the mistake. You can also make it stronger. I sincerely apologize. I unreservedly apologize. If you are writing an email, a very standard and professional phrase is, please accept my apologies. Please accept my apologies for the late reply. It sounds elegant, doesn't it? It frames the apology as a gift that you are offering, and the other person can choose to accept. Now, what if the mistake has caused a problem for someone else? Maybe your client had to wait for 20 minutes. Maybe your colleague had to do extra work. In this case, you must acknowledge the impact of your mistake. The magic phrase here is, I apologize for the inconvenience. Inconvenience. It is a long word, but it is essential for business English. It means trouble or difficulty. The trains are not running today. We apologize for the inconvenience. My internet cut out during the call. I apologize for the inconvenience. If you are a manager, or if you want to show great leadership qualities, you can go one step further. You can use the phrase, I take full responsibility. This is powerful. It means you are not making excuses. You are not blaming the computer, or the traffic, or your assistant. You are standing up and owning the mistake. The report was late. I take full responsibility. People respect this phrase. It builds trust. Let us look at a different type of situation. Sometimes we say sorry when we haven't actually done anything wrong. We use it to show sympathy. If your friend tells you, I lost my job yesterday, or my grandmother is sick, you cannot say, my bad. That would be terrible. You didn't cause the problem. You want to express that you feel their pain. The standard phrase is, I am so sorry to hear that. I was ill last week. Oh, I am sorry to hear that. If it is a tragedy, a death, or a serious loss, we offer condolences. Please accept my deepest condolences. But for everyday bad news, I am so sorry to hear that is perfect. Now I want to teach you something very British. The non-apology. There are times when we need to say no to someone, or we need to give them bad news. But in British culture, saying no directly is considered very blunt, almost rude. We don't like to be direct. We prefer to soften the blow. So, we use the word sorry or the phrase I'm afraid to wrap the no in soft cotton wool. Imagine someone invites you to a party, but you cannot go. Direct. No, I can't come. Too harsh. Polite. I'm sorry, but I can't make it. Better yet, use I'm afraid. I'm afraid I can't help you. I'm afraid we are closed. I'm afraid Mr. Smith is in a meeting. When we say I'm afraid, we are not actually frightened. We are not shaking with fear. It is a social marker. It means I am about to tell you something you do not want to hear, and I am being polite about it. Do you have this shirt in size medium? I'm afraid not. Can I speak to the manager? I'm afraid he is out to lunch. This is a wonderful phrase for you to master. It makes you sound sophisticated and culturally aware. It stops you from sounding aggressive when you have to refuse a request. Another confusion point for learners is the difference between sorry and excuse me. They are both polite, but they look in different directions of time. Excuse me is usually for before you interrupt or inconvenience someone. Sorry is usually for after you have done it. If you need to get past someone on a crowded train, you say, excuse me, so they move. If you step on their foot while moving past, you say, sorry. Excuse me, could you tell me the time? Starting a conversation. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Repairing a conversation. Now, Let us talk about the other side of the coin. How do you accept an apology? If someone says, sorry to you, what do you say back? If you say nothing, it creates a very awkward silence. The other person will feel terrible. You need to release them from their guilt. In a casual setting, the absolute king of phrases in Britain and Australia is, no worries. Oh, I forgot your book. No worries. It is friendly, relaxed, and comforting. It means, do not worry about this. It is not a problem. Similar phrases are, no problem. It's fine. Don't mention it. Don't mention it is lovely. It implies the mistake was so small that we shouldn't even speak about it again. If the situation was a bit more serious, but you want to be professional and forgive the person, you can say, apology accepted. This is formal. It draws a line under the event. I apologize for being late. Apology accepted. Let's start the meeting. Or you can be gracious and say, these things happen. I deleted the file by accident. Don't worry. These things happen. This is very empathetic. It reminds the person that everyone makes mistakes. I want to take a moment to discuss the cultural context I mentioned at the beginning. The British reflex apology. You might find this funny, but it is true. If you walk down a street in London and you bump into a lamppost, an inanimate metal object, there is a high chance you will hear a British person say, oops, sorry, to the lamppost. We also apologize if someone bumps into us. Imagine you are standing still. Someone runs into you. The logical thing is for them to apologize. But in Britain, both people will usually say, sorry. 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 Why? Because we are apologizing for the awkwardness of the collision. We are apologizing for occupying the space that the other person wanted. It is a ritual of peace. So, if you visit the UK, do not be surprised if people apologize to you when you are the one who made the mistake. So, let us review what we have learned today. We want to stop saying just sorry for everything. For small accidents, use my bad, my mistake, or silly me. For professional errors, use I apologize. I apologize for the inconvenience, or I take full responsibility. For bad news, use I'm afraid I can't. For sympathy, use I'm sorry to hear that. And to accept an apology, use no worries, or these things happen. I have a challenge for you. For the next week, try to ban the word sorry from your vocabulary, just for small things. If you drop something, catch yourself. Don't say sorry. Say, whoops, my bad. If you are writing an email, delete I am sorry and write I apologize for. See how it feels. See if it changes the way you feel about yourself. Words have power. When you use precise, varied vocabulary, you project an image of competence and fluency. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this lesson has given you the confidence to handle your mistakes with grace and style. I apologize if I have talked for too long, actually. No, I don't. I hope it was useful. I look forward to speaking with you again very soon. Goodbye.